double standard, or at least that's what we say. We hate double standards. It's unfair, it's unjust, it isn't right, it's one-sided. But I find that in our modern times, women are now falling prey to the double standard, and now it's on our end. Oftentimes, we're the ones doing the double standard, and it's unbalanced, where it's on our side, it's kind of, you know, in a position of advantage, and for men, it's not. And if our whole goal is to kind of foster in this sort of egalitarian equality into society, you would think that women would be very careful not to commit a double standard, but such is not the case.
How about you tell us what you think each of our body counts is?
Okay, you're all at least double digit, for sure, guaranteed.
Double digit?
100,000% wrong.
What is that?
How about that?
You're all double digit.
Wrong,
above?
You're all
wrong,
at least
wrong,
double digit.
Guess the guys.
wrong. How about that?
What about
He's saying that he can basically stereotype a woman based on her behavior or how she's dressed or what her Instagram pictures are.
Yeah, but that's normal. Don't we kind of look at someone's behavior and create assumptions about them? This is why, you know, a part of your basic home training is to behave yourself in a certain way when you're outside of your house, because it tells people something about you. That's at least how I understand it, and that's how I was brought up. If you want to be perceived a certain way, you need to behave a certain way, dress a certain way, look put together, care about what you're speaking, your speech, clean up your speech, that type of thing. And we do this often with men. You know, we kind of look at men who don't dress well and who don't speak well, and we categorize them. But we don't like it when men do it in reverse for whatever reason.
That, oh, she definitely has
Well, I think
had
everyone does that
so
to
many
some
guys,
degree.
and that's where you're wrong, because that's where you stereotype people without getting to know them. Once you know somebody, then how would you? You just.
Yeah, I mean, the way that a person behaves, the way that a person carries themselves, the way that a person speaks, it's an indicator of that person and who they are. And that is not rocket science, and that is not wrong. That is the way of the world. It's an indicator of who that person is, what their personality is like. And it's really unfair to exude out this image that you're not. This is what this woman is claiming. It's unfair to judge someone based off of how you see them and how they're portraying themselves. You don't really know them. So it's like, why wouldn't you? That doesn't make sense to me, because why wouldn't you portray yourself as the person that you are? If this person that you're portraying outwardly to the world is not who you are, how is it the fault of the people who perceive you to judge you based off of that, project out to the world who you are? I don't know if that makes sense to you, but if I'm not, for example, if I am not a whore, why would I present myself as such to the world and then get upset when people perceive me as such? That doesn't make sense to me. If I'm a very charitable person, I like to be active in my community, volunteer. I value higher education. I go to church, very religious and all of that. Would it make sense for me to project to the world the polar opposite? Would it make sense for me to go around telling everybody that I'm a Satanist, that I'm an individualist, that I don't really care about the community around me? That doesn't make any sense. Why would I do that? So yeah, the way that you behave indicates to other people who you are.
Told me that all of us have had double digits.
Well, you asked me to guess, so
Right.
I entertained.
Based on based on
your
our
request.
Instagram,
or whatever.
again.
how
Okay,
we're acting.
so without you guys revealing your body counts, show of hands, was I at least correct in my range assessment?
Oh, for sure. That's obvious.
Okay, so I wasn't.
Yeah, you weren't
with the
wrong.
exception.
You were wrong, but I'm just saying, stupid.
Isn't Andrew Tate like 5'8"?
Oh shit! No, he's like 6'3".
Really?
How many
Yeah.
stick jam? That's
What
like
the
he gives
fuck?
such
Short man energy that like I thought he was like under 6'.
It's so funny when we judge men based on their appearance, but we're belligerent when men do it to us. This is already off to a rocky start.
What did you just say? It's short man energy. What does that mean?
Like,
Are you
it was
hating on
kinda
short
mean.
men?
Yeah, it was kind of mean. It was like a derogatory stance, I guess.
Yeah, it's mean, I know, but I'm gonna say it anyway because it's fun. and it wins me social points. The girl next to me is eating it up. She loves it.
You know what? Slide as long as you're okay with fat girl energy.
That's fair. I mean, if we're going to do that, I mean, that's what we want. We want equality. So, you know, if I can make fun of men openly, then they should be able to do it in return. And don't get me wrong, I understand like where the thinking is, but it's so misplaced. Trying to give men a taste of their own medicine by acting like them, while at the same time trying to convince men that this behavior is wrong. It's like, it's chaos. It doesn't make any sense. It's counterproductive. So it's this idea that women are going to show men how their behavior is harmful by acting like them, so we can teach them how not to act like that.
Are you okay with fat girl
I've
energy?
done my due diligence in dating a man shorter than me, so I feel like I could say that. That's
If short guy energy is okay, then fat girl energy has to be okay
Yep.
too.
'Tis so, it should be.
Half the corporate executives have to be female. They don't say that about the damn bricklayers. It's 99% of bricklayers are men. Almost all heavy machinery operators, almost all construction workers. We're going to decide that some professions should be 50-50, so that would be the C-suites, because that's where the feminists concentrate. Like, why is it any more relevant that women are underrepresented, let's say, in the C-suites, than that they're underrepresented among bricklayers? If the goal is 50-50 representation, because women have been systemically excluded from trades and occupations, how do you possibly draw the line between those positions where gender equity should be pursued and those positions where it shouldn't? I defy you to make an argument for why 50% of the bricklayers shouldn't be women.
That's a good point. Absolutely. I mean, if we're going to talk about women being more represented in the professional arena, that should be all across the board. And again, I get where feminists are coming from. I think really why feminists tend to focus on the corporate arena rather than manual labor professions like bricklaying, like he said. I think a lot of these women see that there is a need that needs to be met within the corporate world. And I mean, if you look at corporate offices in the past, they were very misogynist. We know that. I've experienced, when I worked in the corporate office, a man calling woman babe, like on the first day of meeting her, and everyone was like up in arms about it, you know. So clearly times have changed, and it was actually another man who pointed out that that was inappropriate. So times have changed, absolutely. Women don't really work in hard manual labor jobs, and that's very, very true. Yeah, but it's like another thing that's misplaced. Your efforts are being misplaced, or it's not being used properly. It's causing more damage than good. There's more contradiction going on than there is a consensus. So yes, I think if I'm understanding the thinking of feminists who are going after C-level executive positions, and why that effort is being misplaced, I think this is at least how I'm interpreting and understanding this. These women noticed that there was a need for the feminine to be represented in leadership. It's not just about women should be able to work here. It's not just about that, because I think if you're a woman and you want to go and be a bricklayer, you can try your hand at it, but you will find that you're of no use there. You want to go and be a construction worker and you're a woman? Fine, but you're going to find that you are of no use there physically. But in terms of leadership, I think these women who go for C-level executive suites noticed that there was a lack of the feminine being represented there. It wasn't humanistic. It was far too analytical, and men tend to be very analytical, and that's a great thing. We need that in the world, obviously. But this sort of humanistic aspect was not present, and I think women noticed that, and that need needed to be fulfilled, and it has been. And studies show that, you know, these office spaces where women are in positions of leadership, they do better. They're more innovative because the women are bringing with them this sort of humanistic aspect and approach that was not there before. So women in positions of leadership is important, but that effort is misplaced, and it's turning into like, we're gonna replace the men because they are so bad at what they do. We could do it better, so let's just replace them altogether and get rid of them. And that's where the dysfunction is coming in. It's we're approaching it as if we can do what men do better rather than approaching it with like this sort of complementarity. We can help men be better rather than we can do better, so we just don't need them at all. Men bring a very analytical aspect to the workplace. However, at the same time, men tend to lack the humanistic approach to leadership, and that is where women come in. So instead of women going, feminists going, let's just eradicate men altogether, because we can also be analytical the way that men are, so we really don't need them. That doesn't help anything, that doesn't help anyone. They could just say, yeah, men bring this great component to leadership to the table, and women bring this great component to leadership to the table, and together we could have something really powerful here, rather than realizing the feminine and the masculine work together well. They work together well, but one is constantly trying to be superior to the other. It is dysfunctional and it's imbalanced. Yes, so I hear Jordan Peterson here, absolutely. And everyone who says this is very true.